Coming up tonight, Prime Minister Philip Brave Davis holding up his New Day cabinet in prayer as they attend church celebrating 1 year in governance. Plus, imagine a 15-year-old hero. Find out what Miguel Curry did to obtain that status. The details straight ahead. And a penny per foot. Peter Roker has a plan to benefit a lucky charity. Stay close. This is our News Weekend edition. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Megan Shepard. The Progressive Liberal Party continuing their celebrations in recognition of 1 year in office. This morning, members worship at Life Changes Ministries, giving God thanks for the accomplishments thus far. Prime Minister Philip Brave Davis in prayer, noting that it is important to remember that winning is but a mere beginning.
We account to our constituents who have entrusted us with governance. Our blueprint for change maps our commitment to them. We have achieved much in the past year, but there's yet much to do.
He says recounting the party's accomplishments is not to be boastful, but rather to be held accountable by God.
According to our abilities, God gave this progressive little party talents. So pray with me, church, as we account to God. Dear Heavenly Father, in advance of that account, we give you all the glory for allowing the advances that we currently enjoy.
According to the Prime Minister, his government has made significant strides in tourism, the economy, and the health sector as it relates to the pandemic. To this end, he also lifted members of his administration in prayer as they move forward in governance.
Thank you for preserving cabinet and parliamentary colleagues, for the officers and members of this great party, for the public officers who work assiduously to ensure that we achieve the promises set out in our blueprint. Thank you, Lord.
Negotiations between the Union of Tertiary Educators of the Bahamas, UTEB, and the Bahamas Technical Vocational Institute, BTVI, said to be experiencing significant challenges because of two major reasons. This, according to President of UTEB, Daniel Thompson. He says BTVI's team appears powerless to engage in meaningful discourse, and there's no real interest in the concerns and challenges. He says that because of this first issue, BTVI's team is unable to justify its stance on basic definitional matters and is unwilling to provide important information such as current salary scales, results of a human resources study, nor BTVI's strategic plan. Thompson is asking the powers that be to ensure that BTVI approaches these negotiations in good faith. Police are tonight aggressively searching for a man who shot and killed a female at Arawak Key overnight. According to police, sometime around 1:45 a.m., the woman was approached and subsequently shot multiple times by a man wearing a hooded jacket. When emergency services arrived and examined the women, they determined there were no vital signs of life. If you can assist with this investigation, you are encouraged to reach out to police. Aimed at tackling the emotional and mental needs of law enforcement officers, a chaplaincy training program was held for law enforcement agencies. This as the Defense Force Chief is saying he plans to expand the department to better attend to the RBDF officers. Berthany McDermott tells us how this will work.
The Chaplaincy Department of the Royal Bahamas Defense Force is expanding, according to Defense Force Commodore Dr. Raymond King. King says the plan is to have a chaplain's aide in each department at every branch and on board every vessel and detachment to ensure the needs of service members are addressed efficiently and timely.
We need to ensure that the spiritual needs, the moral needs, the religious needs, and other needs that members face daily, family matters, family and marriage, grief, financial issues, depression, the mental aspect, all of those needs are efficiently and effectively addressed.
This vision gave birth to a free law enforcement chaplains training program in partnership with the Billy Graham International Chaplaincy Program. The Bible-based training is designed to further equip those who feel God's calling to minister to the law enforcement community as a current law enforcement chaplain, an active duty or retired officer. RBDF chaplain Apostle Raymond Wells outlines what trainees got from the training sessions.
We're going to be talking about handling trauma. We're going to be talking about dealing with depression, talking about ministering, how to minister to people who may find themselves in trauma. And so all of these are the topics that we're going to be talking about.
The program was open to all law enforcement officers. Wells, who was also the senior pastor of Living Waters Kingdom Ministries, where the event was held, said the plan is to hold this form of training annually. He says since he stepped into the role, he's seen firsthand the trauma military officers face, noting that it has changed his perspective.
And I see a police officer, defense force officer, immigration officer, custom officer, I buy them lunch, because I know now the stress that they deal with on a regular basis. So we have to give that honor and respect to them and pray for them.
Ferguson City, Missouri Police Chief Frank McCall attended the event and stressed to officers that they're not alone.
We have people that support us, people that care, but at the same time being able to put forth that knowledge that we care as well, and we're human like everyone else. We have feelings like everyone else, and it just gives us a better way to channel it so that we can have a positive impact on the people that we're serving.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Berthany McDermott.
Still to come on Our News, discover, achieve renewed energy. Dare Bahamas officially launches on Grand Bahama. And just in time for Breast Cancer Awareness Month, new technology to make mammograms simpler. That's coming up when the weekend edition returns. Welcome back. Discover, achieve renewed energy. Dare Bahamas Youth Organization officially launching on Grand Bahama and hosting a technology training initiative. The mission is to form a tech-oriented youth think tank with a strong focus on research data and technological development. Organizers say the goal is to empower the youth to become the voices of their generation. Dare Bahamas Youth Organization pouring into young people on Grand Bahama. At its official launch, Apostle Paul Earl out of Jamaica sharing insight on his journey of becoming an entrepreneur at the age of 15.
Don't sit and watch those guys who are these movie stars and say, oh, I wish I was them. No, you get started where you are. You get started with something small. Just get started.
He says, learn from the best and forget the rest.
My mother always said it to me, that listen, silver and gold may vanish away, but a good education will never decay. So for all of you who are doing good in school, guess what? You cannot lose. You study, you learn, you become the smartest person in the room.
Apostle Earl adding that volunteering can open the doors of opportunity.
If you see somebody successful, a company, a project, a business, you say, you know what? Can I come and help? I know young people would say, well, if them don't pay me, I ain't doing it. Dumb. Let me tell you, you go volunteer and then you learn and you grow. And then when you're good enough, they're going to say, you know what, let me hire you. And if not, they're going to recommend you.
Bishop Jesse Giddens sharing his rough upbringing in California, where he watched members of his family, including his father and brothers, spend their lives in jail for murder and other crimes. He says as a teenager, he knew that that would not be his fate.
No matter what you came up in, if you have a dream, if you would dare to believe that no matter what you came up in, because the one common thread with all great achievers and successful people is they dare to dream.
Now, for more information on Dare Bahamas, you can contact Pastor Simeon Outen at Life Community Church. Some 3 weeks ago, 15-year-old Miguel Curry earned the title of hero after he made the split-second decision to jump in front of a vehicle to protect his 6-year-old brother Malachi. While both boys were unfortunately hit by the car, Miguel sustained the majority of the injuries. This past Friday, Rise Bahamas and Fusion Superplex teamed up to treat the brothers to a day of fun.
And we also wanted to take an opportunity to highlight positive and good, because I believe that Miguel is a hero. Even though it was his little brother that he saved from the car hitting them, it still proved that he had heart above all else. And it just makes me wonder that someone in the Bahamas could actually commit such a crime and not look back to make sure that the boys was okay. It makes me question our humanity. So Rise Bahamas is all about empathy and love and community building, and we just wanted to take a moment to recognize our own local hero, Miguel.
And it's an act of bravery. Truly, it's courageous to step in like this and save your brother, because it truly could have been way worse. We're so grateful that things didn't turn out that way. All heroes don't wear capes, so we're grateful to see them standing here today, and we're so happy to be able to provide the space for them to just have a great time after such a traumatic experience.
Miguel, quiet and shy, says he hasn't yet adjusted to the new title of hero, but he was definitely excited for the fun day.
Well, I feel kind of flattered that someone will actually take me out to the arcade. Someone will actually take me out to the arcade, because I don't really get to go that much like that. So yeah, flattered.
The teenager still walks with a limp, but he says he's progressing well.
I starting to feel much more better. The first time after I get it, I couldn't walk on it, but now, as I continue on, I get being able to walk on it since.
Now, the vehicle that struck Miguel and Malachi did not stop. Burroughs is asking the wider community for more information.
So we're appealing to the general public. If anyone has any information regarding this incident, please come forward. Doesn't matter who they are. We just want justice served in this case.
When our news comes back from the break, the survivor of an armed robbery tells us his harrowing tale. And October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Our Christina Dragovich has details on new technology for mammograms. That's coming up when our News Weekend Edition returns. The survivor of an armed robbery is speaking out tonight, telling our Berthany McDermott it was a scary experience that could have gone wrong in so many ways, but didn't. The Royal Bahamas Police Force officer who was off duty at the time says doctors called him a walking miracle.
A police officer is reliving an armed robbery that nearly took his life in an event he says he remembers every day as if it were yesterday.
To see the assailant's face, the weapons they use, the way they approach you, the demands, and there is nothing that you can do but to comply. And it takes away from your independence, it takes away from you as an individual when you have to comply for your life. And even in complying, you know, they can still turn around and attempt to take your life.
That's Patrick Kemp. He says he was shot in the center of his back and showed the mark on his chest where the bullet exited. He says the miracle is that the bullet missed all the vital organs. The situation, he says, even the doctors found amazing.
It was pretty close and all around, you know, and to hear the doctor say the following day, and I'm so grateful for the Lord having him in place to assist me in saving my life. For the doctor to say, hey, you know what, man, you're a walking miracle, because from where the bullet would have entered and exit, it went around literally all of your organs, all of your vital organs. That is nothing short of a miracle.
Kemp was attending the RBDF's free chaplaincy training program this week. He didn't reveal many details of the matter as it is still before the courts. However, he's grateful he was in a position to defend himself. The father of four said the incident occurred only a few months ago and is still very real to him. He had this bit of advice for anyone that may find themselves in a similar situation.
No person say, to me, oh, you know, if it was them, what they would have done. You don't know what you would do when you're in that situation. And my advice to persons who are accosted, who come in contact with would-be criminals, don't try to be a hero. Comply as best as possible because you only have one life to live. Some things still may go wrong, but comply as best as possible.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Berthany McDermott.
Thanks, Berthany. It's a decision that may change your life and to save it. Getting a mammogram may be intimidating for some, but now new technology is helping to make the process a little smoother and a lot less complicated. Christina Dragovich walks us through it.
It may look intimidating and sound uncomfortable.
You're going to turn your head this way, and then of course I would grab the breast and pull it forward, and that would be the first shot. Okay.
But Dr. Tanya Roker-Davis says the 3D mammography exam is more accurate and precise at detecting breast cancer than a 2D mammogram.
It gives us a better picture. It's less compression on the breast for women, as most are afraid to come in because of the pressing and the squeezing. And like I said, it's very accurate.
According to the United States Cancer Institute, 1 in 8 women will develop breast cancer in her lifetime. Dr. Roker-Davis says early screening can find lumps or give a patient peace of mind, reducing the need for a callback.
If we find a lump, it doesn't always mean that it's cancerous, but we need to follow through and do the workup to see exactly what it is. And then I always tell patients it's better that we find it so that we can deal with it, and get the treatment that you need that's necessary. But every lump is not necessarily bad. So yes, if a lump is found, then sometimes the physician would need to sample it to see exactly what it is, because we need to see either staging of cancer or if it actually is cancer. It could be a benign lump, but we won't know that until we actually test a piece of the tissue. So this machine gives us that capability as well.
So how does it work?
The technologist is going to walk you through the process pretty much. We need the breast exposed, and it's simple. The technologist is very friendly and helpful, and they're going to put your breast in the machine.
The machine can capture 30 to 90 images of the breast in one session. Dr. Roker-Davis says you should get your first mammogram at age 40 unless you have a history of breast cancer in your family. In that case, you should get screened earlier.
Early detection is truly key in terms of the type of treatment you will need. So if we can pick it up earlier, it's more likely that we can cure and treat you.
As the Bahamas and the world recognize breast cancer awareness during the month of October, Family Medicine Center is offering a mammogram special at $100 plus VAT. Reporting for Our News, I'm Christina Dragovich.
When Our News Weekend Edition returns, we are going to take a look at what's in store for us weather-wise. And a penny per foot. Peter Roker has an idea that includes walking around the entire island of New Providence. You heard me, the details straight ahead. Welcome back. Overcast all day with slight showers in certain parts of our archipelago. Let's see what's in store for us over the next few days. Some fun for a good cause coming to the streets of New Providence soon. Longtime businessman Peter Roker gearing up to host the Just Because 1 penny per foot walk challenge. All of the proceeds will go directly towards organizations that constantly give back to the community. Italia Hall reports.
Businessman Peter Roker will attempt to walk around the entire island of New Providence come Monday, October 10th. He says he wants corporate Bahamas to challenge him by donating 1 penny for each foot that he walks. Roker says people can't decide whether they want the funds to go directly to the Ranfully Home for Children, Abilities Unlimited, or the Children's Emergency Hostel organizations. The pledge can also be divided amongst the 3 organizations.
New Providence, like about 47 miles around, that's about 211,000 feet. And so a person can say, okay, fine, I'll give 100 feet. The other person might say, I'll give 1,000 feet. And this money goes directly to the recipients.
Roker says he's hoping that the public responds as he's been working out, preparing for the big day.
I do a little workout in any event, right? One of the rooms in my house, I made into a manual gym, no fancy stuff, you know. And I'm exercise conscious to begin with. Health-wise, I'm, conscious of that too. But I have no illusions. You know, you can stub your toe in the first 50 feet. You could get exhausted or whatever. But it's going to be fun for me. And it's going to be a one-man situation where I will be the only one, actually, I'll be assisted by other persons in terms of coming along, giving me water, and maybe, something to keep my energy up.
The start and end point for the challenge will be at the Roker's gas station that's now under construction off of Sir Milo Butler Highway. He says there's a map on social media showing his route, as well as a pledge sheet.
We'll ask people to pledge, not just send the money right now, but to actually pledge corporate citizens, school children, anyone to be a part of this, because this is very important, okay? The Ranfully Home for Children, for instance, I was amazed to see all the programs they have there to give young people a second chance.
Reporting for our news, I'm Atalia Hall.
Thanks, Atalia, and thank you so much for joining us for our News Weekend edition. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Megan Shepard. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.